Well, hello. I will not say good God morning, but it is good. And I do want to say that I know that it's important for me to talk about this subject here today. We've got a lot of people who don't have their priorities together, but you're ready to get married and you say you're ready to date somebody. I was led to talk about this morning briefly because I'm going to come back and talk about it occasionally. I'm talking about these matters because we got a lot of relationships now. I'm not going to be just talking to the women here today. I'm talking to the men too. Because even though I cannot even fathom what it feels like to be in a relationship and you're doing all you can to try to get your priorities together to make sure you don't mess up this time around, and asking yourself a whole bunch of questions. But if you are preparing to maybe marry someone, or if you're preparing to get into this new dating relationship, you got to know you got to have some priorities. And you also got to have to make sure that your first priority is the Lord. You got to be equally yoked. Over the years and doing marriage and family counseling and things like that. I've listened to a lot of different areas and relationships and marriages that really primarily had to do with just jumping right into those areas that they thought that person was going to fulfill. And it had to do with really their own personal esteem. So we need to take a minute and back this up just to let's talk a little bit about those question marks that you may have or that someone may have in regards to dating, in regards to preparing to be married. One of the things that I remember being a single woman, I am still single, bless God, enjoying being all daddy's girl, you know, and everybody, have a choice to be married or single. Is God said it's not his desire that no man be alone. But at this point, I believe that he's given me the desire of my heart, and that is to stay completely like Paul, married to him. Now, listen to me. I really want to make sure that a single woman understand that we spend a whole lot of time, a considerable amount of time alone or making our own decisions. And a whole lot of us women who decided we want to be married or we want to date, many times we have not gotten our priorities and we haven't got our balances together. And so I want to give you this quick message so that you can understand that your priority, number one, is going to have to make sure that you have, okay, the equalness is yes. But when it comes to a strong woman like myself, who I know where I'm headed, I know who God has called me to do and become, for kingdom growth and, to bring him glory. But we have a lot of people who are searching, trying to see if this one is going to be able to match where I'm going, or if this one is going to be able to, put in the time or put in the commitment that I need to make sure that it works. Many of you are trying to see, are they going to always be available to you? Many of you have question marks of, am I going to have to do this personality overhaul to see whether or not I need to get some things straight to make sure I balance with him or her? But that's really not going to be it. What it's going to take is you got to make sure that you understand that availability to making that is availability and time mean the same thing. You are going to have to make sure that you're available. You have to make sure that you have the time for a relationship and a marriage. Now, some of us who have been single and been dating for a very long time have asked God for a mate, and yet we weren't even ready because we never recognized some things I want to read in a few minutes in regards to a scenario of someone who, sliced all their time out. And then once that honeymoon stage, began to end, when they realized that this person really was not going to be able to be available because they did not have that priority of the relationship intact, because they really did not understand how to do that, because they was really only into themselves. Many of the people who are getting married today and dating, they don't even get sound counsel. All they know is something about you that makes my heart flutter and make me just feel all these tinglings when I'm around you, or your intellect has really got me just wooed. But we got to understand that in this time we're in, people are getting so emotionally traumatized behind someone who wants to date or someone who wants to be married, and before you know it, they never really got to check on their priority. And that first priority needs to be, do I have my esteem with a father, God first? So that means he's a jealous God. Exodus, was it 34 and 14 tells us that, he is a jealous God. He will have no other God before him. And many of us have made relationships our little God. Yes, we have. And so if you start thinking about or over analyzing yourself to see where you are, or to see whether or not you need to take some time out to make sure you schedule everything around this relationship, you can rest assured that that person who you think is Miss Perfect or Mr. Perfect, and that you don't hurry up and do everything you need to do to show yourself available, that you're going to lose them. Guess what? You already lost, because that's not going to get it. Now my doorbell is ringing. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to put y'all on hold for just 1 second. I'm going to have to go answer this door because I think it's the person to come do some work here for me. Hold on. I already have it charted. I already have it.
You already have it? So the other guy inside it?
No, here it is right here.
Okay.
I'm on a recording, so I can't talk. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, so anyway, what I want to cut out really quick, I had to come back real quick. This is unusual. But what I want to share really quick on this particular one about this story about this girl who went on and did all this arrangement. Many of you have did the whole body thing to get the muscles. Many of you had did all the weight loss and all these things. And to soon find out that your priority was not there to really see first, who am I? What do I want? Who am I to God first? Who am I to know my own personal self-esteem first so that I can move forward? So how are you going to keep the relationship when you haven't even done that main priority first? So even though it feels like all the efforts that you're trying to do is going to give what you need to give to make sure the relationship remain whole, you got this one question mark about why is it that whenever I'm making all the plans or whenever I'm making all the things that I need to make for us to be able to have this perfect little time together, for some reason, now in this honeymoon phase, it looked like they couldn't get enough of me and I couldn't get enough of them. Now they have drawn back and now I have a problem. I can't be with them, or they don't want to be with me, or it appears that they don't have time for me. So here's a priority trap. Most of the time, you're sitting around and you're waiting to see if this person is going to make some changes that they've already told you, whether it's the job, and we know the family matter is always a big one, or whether it's the baby mama drama, or maybe it's, the situation where, he's got to work over, or he took the job time over because he wanted to get the extra money, and just totally put you to the side, okay? But one of the things about a relationship, when a partner continuously carve out all this time for that individual, and for some reason, when they carve out all this time, and then when it's your turn to be able to expect that same thing back, is something begins to happen to the relationship. That priority trap now has been, how they say, really, really tampered with, because you have made a decision that you want to do that over me. I love how I'm gonna read this part, that when Jesus got really, really questionable for those who was out during that time when they had just finished fishing all night long, and Jesus said to Peter, Peter, do you love these more than me? Or do you love this thing that you do more than me? That's pretty much what he was saying to him. And we think back on that scripture. Go back and look at that. I think it's John 21:15, when he's saying, Peter, do you love these more than me? So what he's saying, do you love fishing more than me? Do you love the fish spirit more than me? Do you love doing this more than me? More than being and having a relationship with me. So when we put things over God, we can forget it. The relationship now can be very, very dwarfed, very, very out of balance, because now you have made the man the priority in your life. And when you make the man the priority in your life, that's when all the things that God has planned for you becomes all synced with what you want and not what God wants. And that's where the problem begins to come in. So when Peter was saying to him, oh, well, yeah, Lord. But what the thing is, we say, yeah, Lord. But when we realize that we really, really want this particular crossroad to end, when we really, really want our priorities to be in place, and that's to make sure that we have what we need for one another, that's when we really, really start having a problem with the relationship, okay? And so we want to look at the first thing that I want to share here really quick, and I'm gonna get off of here. I want to share the story. I'm gonna call her name Annie. Her name is Annie. And so Annie missed her boyfriend. Okay, all of a sudden he became missing. She said this was her first boyfriend that she knew that she was committing her life to. And she said they don't see each other as often as they did in the summer before school started. She still goes to work in the cafe where they met, but this time she has to attend her class at the local college. Okay, being away from him and seeing him only sporadically during the week made her miserable. I know I'm talking to somebody. Because now he's working over. Now he's got to get the babies more than once a month. Okay, now he's got to do some extra things. Okay, she soon quit her job. And decided that she could handle college sometime in the future. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to try to rearrange our lives to try to see this is what I'm going to do. I'm willing to commit. I'm willing to rearrange and make priorities for you. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to do all this thing to make sure that you see that you're my number one priority. So she decided to quit her job and she could handle her college later. She decided what was important right then was that she keeps seeing the guy who made her so happy. And surely he loved to spend more time with her, she reasoned in her own mind. With a lot of free time on her hands to nurture the relationship now, she feels free. Okay, she can really nurture it and be with him. Okay. After class, she camps out at the park near his workplace to wait for him. Mm-hmm. Isn't that so sad? Now she want to spend time camping out, waiting on him because she's dropped all of her life. She's dropped all of her priorities. Okay, they meet up every single day for a month, but then he starts coming late, and sometimes not at all. She's baffled. She's hurt. When she confronts him, she learns that he has taken a volunteer job which entails showing a group of exchange students around for an hour or two each day. She feels hurt and frustrated that he dared take away some of their time together to help out other people. When she shared her feelings with him, he was just like, what? At the single sentence he uttered after she finished her frustration, this is what he said to her. Don't you have other friends? Say like that for a minute. See, this is what I'm trying to show you right now. You cannot take all of your life while you're preparing now because you don't want to miss out on this relationship. You don't want to miss out on this person that you feel that you know that God, even if God told you to marry this person, you got to make sure that you don't get in this priority trap, which means that you want to have all of your priorities together and their priorities is not balanced. I don't matter to you that much that you would take on all these other responsibilities and don't remember what I've done for you. Because that's the first thing we're going to say is, I quit my job. I lost all this weight. I've been here for you. I paid for your college. I help you. But you did all of this stuff like a silly woman. That's really what you were. You done all this stuff. And so here it is. Annie was unable to handle the pressure of this man having what he felt was his priority. He was trying to do what he really enjoyed doing. She was doing what she wanted to do. But when it came to the time, I don't want to preach. I got to get off of here. But when it came to the time, that's why I'm doing this for you. My priority was to be with a man who I thought would be my knight in shining armor. At 18 years old, he decided he'd wake up one morning because I didn't want that priority of being with him under these eggshell type of relationship. Too scared to say whatever's on my mind, too scared to, or do whatever I want to do that I felt, was really important to me. That I was going to get beat up and we were going to have this bad argument. I'm talking to you. And so when we find ourselves in a place where you're walking on eggshells, you don't know what to say. You don't know how to really recover from the thing that you know that it's not really feeling good to you, but you don't want to lose this opportunity because you feel like you got too old to keep waiting on a mate. You feel like, then men gonna say, man, I thought that was the one, bro. And now you talk about you don't know. When we're in this all right now, where this girl Annie had this pressure that she felt like she had this heartfelt devotion to this man. And now something has come in and snatched him out and made everything that she thought was going to be a genuine focus beyond like Peter the fish, that I matter to you. And that necessarily means that she didn't matter. Is that he had his priorities together. Where is your priority? Is your priority only on the stressors that you know that you want a certain thing and you want to do it now, and you don't have the balance about your priorities? You got to remember, first of all, Annie's stress level was there so to the point that she went as far as quitting her job to see if she can camp out and wait on him at whatever date so they can keep that flow of the same pattern. This religious type of relationship that you expecting things to always remain the same. I know I'm talking to you. It's not going to remain the same. I don't want to preach. And so don't get mad because things need to change. That's how you get to find out about where each of your temperaments are. You know, Many of you have relationships that's already broken because your esteem is broken, because you have rejection. You have issues of fear of failure, fear of being rejected. And then when you go into a relationship with this stuff, bro, or girl, it ain't going to work because you are already out of sync with your priorities. And so the other thing that this particular girl did, she let her fears of this non-relationship, meaning that it was out of sync anyway, because this guy had his mind set on, I'm going to do what I enjoy doing for my career. This non-relationship priority came into play, so it scared her. She was scared of losing the relationship. She started spending more time with him, and before you know it, he was like, you need to get you some friends because I'm not going to be with you all the time. And this is a lot of things that's going on in marriages today. These women are married, these guys who got these baby mamas and situations, and many of them don't want to spend all the time with them. They want to get away because they're so tired of the baby mama drama. And, this is their time out now because they just spent the time with the baby and you. They want to get with the bros. I know I'm talking to somebody. And some women think that a man will appreciate them more if they show him that nothing in their life is more important than him. We got to remember really, really quickly. Some of you have dropped relationships. Some of you dropped churches because you don't want to go to that church. Some of you have made a decision that all the attention is going to be on her or him. But that's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. Because once you see, like Annie did, once she saw that this man was more into his career as she was into him, it became a problem. Well, next time, hopefully I can talk about how low self-esteem has caused a lot of women to think that a man would never leave them because of maybe the sex is good, or maybe because she's so beautiful with flowing hair and a Coke bottle figure, and that he feels that I got all these muscles and I know how to really bring it home in the bedroom. I got a news break for you. That ain't gonna work. At some point, we got to recognize that these same issues that I've talked about here, where you are in this honeymoon stage right now, you believe that this is going to be the one that you're going to marry. You believe that this is what God has told you. This is going to be your partner. You know that you're going to sit down in a rocking chair and both you're going to be trying to sip on tea with no teeth. Talk to you. But when things start to come around right now, I want you to think about your priorities right now. Is Jesus going to be Lord? Are you going to go and marry somebody who want to worship Buddha, and you know that you are full-blown Baptist or someone who is straight into, Christendom, and they want to be just their Christendom or Buddha or whatever other religion? So you want to try to make the yoke mix, and you know it don't mix, but you want to be in that? Because you feel that your sex is going to change them. At some point, they're going to change their mind and go to your Baptist church, or you're going to change her mind and she's going to do Buddhism. I don't preach. And this is where the insult comes in. This is when the hurt comes in. This is where the esteem gets really low. Because you have got your priorities out of whack. Your first priority to make sure that yoke is right so that you both can know where you're going in your faith. Where are you going, number one, in the whole kid and caboodle, especially when you got baby mama drama, baby daddy drama in the relationship. So we need to understand we have blended families. When you have not even checked to see where your esteem is, before you start saying, I do, Before you start saying, this is my girl, this is my man, this is my, whatever they call it, my boo, whatever you want to call them. Because at the end, they're going to say, boo, I'm out of here. Scaring you to death because they don't want you harassing them about where you at, and you don't want to be harassed about when you're coming back. And I thought we were going to be engaged, and engagement is off. Well, I guess what? I got a news flash for you. It was never on. I got to get out of here. Annie realized that inattentiveness. Annie realized that she didn't have a spiritual balance because, number one, Annie wanted to make him her little God. I know I'm talking to you today. Today, I'm telling you that a lot of your free time is when you need to get in with God so he can talk to you about the relationship. A lot of that free time that maybe he can't get with you or maybe she can't get with you. Many of you are stalking each other because you just really want to make sure you can see whether or not you can trust each other. But if you ain't trust her yet or trust him yet, why you with her? I gotta go. This is why we have all these domestic violence situations now. Because you with somebody, you already know you can't trust them. You with somebody right now, you already seen that issue that they want to control you and watch you and put you in this little box, put you on a shelf like a trophy. I don't want to preach. And then you want to holler about help, 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 when you thought that your sex would change them. I don't want to preach. I gotta go. Said it 3 times, and I'm for real this time. Father, in the name of Jesus, I'm praying that you would talk to them today. I'm praying you would help them realize the things that they've been dealing with, the things that they don't realize that it's going to come to light real quick. Father, I pray, God, that they will have a balance. And that first priority that Jesus told Peter, do you love these more than me? Where are you in true, authentic love? Do you love God more than anything? I know I do. Do you love God more than anybody? That includes your family. Do you love God more than anything and anybody? Because once you can do that, when you can do that, then God can say, now you got the first priority in sync. So then now everything that you need to see about the relationship, everything you can see that is going wrong, I'm going to let you see before you say I do. Before you get entangled in something that you have made a priority about that was not making him person. I gotta go. I love you. Please share this message because all over the globe we got women saying I do, and we got guys saying I don't. When you already have said I do, because we need some help. Gotta go. Please share it.